30th week of the hard work. I am so sorry for skipping 2 weeks. I know I had done my mistake, and that's why I'm recording a brand new video. And this one, I promise, will be so much more worth to listen than if I had recorded the previous ones. So, for example, actually, wait, I should say it like this. I've accumulated the knowledge of 3 weeks into one video. I can tell you some funny story. I will tell you some stuff that I had learned and that I had speculated that I did not know will or could have happened. And also, I will tell you something so incredible that probably I would even argue barely anyone speaks about the importance of this specific topic that I'm going to discuss in this video. All right, so first things first, what was happening? Where were I gone for 3 weeks straight? So since currently I'm in my social season, I'm trying to socialize with as many people as possible with every single day. I'm talking about approaching new people, meeting new people, whether it's guys, girls, young, old, doesn't matter. I talk to pretty much everyone. I want to have a good conversation. I want to meet more people because I simply enjoy it. It is fun. So, what I like to do is once, 2 times, maybe 3 times per week, go outside to the beach and there go to a gym zone because there's lots of guys who are training. And I always like to talk with them. So, like, I approach them and say, hey man, nice physique. I like, fist bump. Boom. It's like, oh yeah, appreciate it. And I ask, like, for how long you've been training? It's like, I am 30 years old and I've been training since I am 7 or something like that. So it's been more than, or about 20 years. It's like, oh my goodness. So he got this, so his body was jacked, super, super. Okay, I might sound like gay now. So, okay, good looking. I'd say that. I was gonna say sexy, but nah, that's too gay. Okay, basically a very handsome looking man. And I was like, oh, and I said, you have a very, very awesome body. I want to get the same one. How did you do that? What exactly did you do? And what would you advise for me, a 21-year-old kid, compared to him? And he's like, well, firstly, good job on training. You've got an awesome physique. You're in shape. But the only thing you have right now is the huge body fat percentage. And I told him, yeah, I know, I have it. And I'm doing my best, near best, to lower it and get it from about 20 to 15 or even 10%. Actually, I would even argue it's about 18 to 17 right now, my body fat percentage. And it's going even lower and lower than that. And I told him, yeah, I know. That's exactly what I'm doing. And he gave me some also advice. So said, don't eat after 5 p.m. Sleep early, sleep well, train well, eat enough proteins. And I said, well, I pretty much knew about all that stuff. The only thing I didn't really listen to was, follow up before was the don't eat before 5 p.m. That's kind of an interesting one. So I've started to consider that one as well. This is kind of a good one, actually. All right, then what I do after that is I just walk more and I see some more people. Lots of times I see foreigners from other countries because I hear people speak English in Turkey, which is quite rare, honestly. And I approach them and say, hey, I heard you speak English. Where are you from? And then some guys might say, oh, I'm from, the last one said I'm from UK. The guy before that said, oh, I am from Australia. The one before said, I am from European country, Albania or something. Yeah, Albania, I believe. And so on. Sometimes I even hear foreign language. So for example, like I heard 2 girls speaking some language that I've never ever heard before. And there's the person said, hey, what language you speak? I'm very curious. And they're like, oh, it's Arabic. Arabic, I say. They say, yeah. And I say like, interesting, because I believe I heard it before, but the way you speak doesn't sound like Arabic to me, at least. And she said, well, it's just the different dialects, because there is not just one Arabic. There's like Arabic for each country, because it's different depending on the country you live in, apparently. I had knew about it, but I didn't know it was that crazy of difference. So basically, that's what I've been doing this whole time. Talking to more people, getting to know more people. And the problem was, I had lots of problem, right? One of them was the approach anxiety. If you ever try to do a cold approach, you know what I mean. You see, you walk straight towards, let's say you want to go to shop, right? You want to get a grocery store, you want to get something to eat. On your way, you see a very attractive, exactly your type girl. You think, oh, I want to speak to her. But as soon as you think about that, your brain comes with some excuses not to talk with her. It's like, oh, I am not good enough. Oh, she's out of my league. Oh, I didn't brush my teeth. Oh, my hair is messed up. Oh, that, oh, this. And before you know it, there is hundreds of reasons why you shouldn't talk to her. And then two things happen. You freeze. So for example, you just freeze and cannot move at all, which looks very weird and creepy, not gonna lie. And the second one, you just pass by as if she's not even existing, as if she's not even there. The brutal part is I had to go through that myself many times. Here's the thing, I haven't solved it myself completely yet, but I'm very close to that. So for example, in about 50% of chance I do approach, 50% of the other scenarios I still hesitate. That's still better, not gonna lie. Considering the fact that in cold approaching, conversion rate is about 10 to 30%. So basically, if you approach 10 girls, you might get 1 to 3 numbers. That's pretty much the conversion rate on average. It also depends on where you live. It also depends on how you look. That also matters. Oh, and the most important one, how you speak, how you convey yourself, because that's even more important. When I had learned that, it was actually quite crazy. You see, if you're online for a while, you know that those looks maxers, people that are trying to make themselves as much attractive as possible. I'm not gonna go and say specific names, but you know some of these guys that I'm talking about. The problem is, if you only focus on your looks, you will have no game at all. So when a girl will approach you, you will still fucking freeze, man. Do you seriously think that if you improve your looks, the girls will just drop from above on your head or something like that? Was that your initial thought? Now, don't get me wrong. Improving your looks is it's very good. It's never a bad thing. But when you only focus on that, that's when it becomes a problem. You don't have social skills, so you cannot properly talk. You don't have a game, so you cannot make her attracted to you. And you behave yourself like someone who is still, so for example, if you were fat before, even though you now look very fit and good and handsome, you will still act as if you're fat. That's just how the reality is. And so I had came up with a couple of genius ideas how to counter the approach anxiety. So one of them is tricking your own mind. Some people say it, lots of people say it, When you see a girl, do not think, just say 3, 2, 1, go. And then command your legs physically just to go towards her. You don't even need anything to know, know to what to say, right? You can just command your legs, and whatever the first thing that pops into your head, just say it. Just say it. And I had thought about this myself, but it still didn't really work. Because the thing is, it is mental. And I thought, why not do something that's physical? And then I remembered, and I was starting to think, okay, what's the thing that I really like to do? Like physical thing, some move or whatever thing that would tell my brain that I should approach that woman. And then I remembered, oh wait, it's flicking my fingers. I really, really love to do that. And so what I had done for past week is that I have been training my brain to instantly walk towards a girl whenever I flick my fingers and whenever I see a girl. Actually, wait, firstly, I have to see a good looking girl that is my type. Secondly, I have to flick my fingers and just go towards her. I don't need to know anything to say. I can just say whatever comes to my mind first. Now, at first it was hard. How you start doing it is by simply, let's say you sit somewhere, you close your eyes, and then you imagine that you're sitting in a cafe and there a cute girl is passing by. What you do is simply flick your fingers, stand up, and instantly go towards her. And I mentally visualized this many, many, many times. And I was also, when I would flick my fingers, I wouldn't just sit still, I would walk towards her physically. So that would activate like a primal thingy, if that makes sense. And now, I had been doing it in person too. So at first though, I'll tell you some funny story. At first I tried to do this, but usually your body freezes down because you're afraid of rejection or whatever that is, spotlight effect, right? My hands froze. I couldn't flick my fingers. So it was like something like this. Because now I knew that if I just flick my fingers, I would approach her. But my brain hesitated to do that. It's just okay. As if by flicking my fingers, I would instantly approach her, which is the case, by the way. I would. That's the thing. So, yesterday, me and my friend we went in a bar. I told him about this, and he's like, "There's no way. It's like, what the fuck? Are you a dog or something? Are you an animal?" I said, "No, what? I needed to come up with something to do that, right?" And this motherfucker, I promised you, he says, "You see those girls?" I said, "Yeah," and he said, "Go." It's like, and I'm like, "You motherfucker, I hate you." And we were both laughing. And I instantly went up to them. Now, I got rejected. Sure, that's a different story. But oh my goodness, that was so hilarious. I in normal situation I would never do that stuff. But it's like I had like a remote to control a television and I had gave it to my friend. Because now he knows, okay, if I flick my fingers and point towards a girl, me, will go and approach that girl. And I had done this 6 times, actually. Now, at first I was like, "You motherfucker, I hate you." And he's like, "Yeah, I know, but you gotta get those numbers." Now, eventually, all 6 of them rejected. And I do not give a single shit. Now, that's one of the things that you can use. The other one is one very, very good opener that I recently came up with. Actually, I saw this someone, but I had tweaked it a little bit to make it a little bit more of my own thing. So basically, you're afraid to go and talk to a girl because you're afraid of rejection, mostly. Or you're afraid that some people around you will judge you. And so, and I thought, what if so the problem was, sorry, I interrupted this once again. You have anticipation because you don't know if it's a yes or no. Because of that, your mind is like going crazy. Oh, what if it's yes? But what if it's a no? If it's a yes, if it's no. And I thought to myself, what if I will make it so that I will only get one reply? So that my mind wouldn't think, and I would know that whatever I say, the girl will always say one answer. And no, surprisingly, it's not a yes. It's a rejection. So basically, what I do is I come up to girl and I say, "Hey, listen, I'm gonna tell you something, but no matter what I say, I want you to tell me no and reject it." Now you might be thinking, "Bro, are you stupid?" Firstly, it's weird, number one. Number two, what's the point? Don't you want to get her number? But hear me out. That's actually a very, very cool idea to do, an opener. And I'll explain you why. You see, in this scenario, so let's say two scenarios. You come up to and approach a girl normally. Say, "Hey, excuse me, you look pretty, what's your name, blah, 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 blah." In that case, your conversion rate is about 10 to 30%. Now, in this scenario, when you say like, "Oh, whatever I'm gonna tell you, please reject me." Don't really use the word please, but just reject me. Now, in this case, more women would say no because you've asked it yourself, obviously. But the thing is, there will still be a minority of women that even though you ask them to say no, they will say yes. And that's when you will know that these women are really into you, physically into you. Because if she wasn't, she would say no. But you asked her to reject you, and she didn't comply, and instead said yes. And you know, okay, this woman is into me. And now, if she says no, fine. It's fine. What are you afraid of? You've literally asked it yourself. So why would you be afraid of something? You knew it was coming. Because, once again, you've asked it yourself. There's nothing to be afraid of. Even if someone else is going to watch, who cares? You've asked for it. That's the point. You asked for a rejection. It's not that she rejected you, but you've asked it for yourself. And it doesn't hurt as much as if she had rejected you normally. And so basically, if you eventually come up with a girl that will say yes to you, what you can do is like, you can joke about it. You can say something like, "Oh, I guess you're kind of a girl that does illegal stuff." She might say, "Wait, why?" And you can say, "Well, I've asked you for such a simple thing, and you didn't listen to that. So you probably don't follow the law as well." And don't say it the way I said it with this same tonality. You can joke about it with like, "Oh, you probably..." Yeah, so since you couldn't follow this simple rule, I thought that you probably don't follow the law. And you can laugh about it and tap on her shoulder, something like that. And she will giggle, she will laugh. Or you can come up with something on your own. That's up to you. I gave you the opener, you come up with the rest. The other thing is, my friend, if you're afraid that you will, that all of the things that you want to say will eventually, you will run out of things to say. If you're afraid of that, that's fine. Firstly, that's not gonna happen. Secondly, even if it will happen, the problem is you had put a filter in your own brain. You said, "Oh, do not say it because if you say that, that will be weird." Now, don't say literally everything. Still, there should be some filter. But 90% of the stuff that you withhold to say, you can pretty much say. I promise you, that's okay. As long as it's not super weird and it's not overly sexual, at least in the beginning. I mean, after talking for like hours. You can pretty much go into sexual stuff, topics, that's fine. But when you just meet someone, unless she's a hoe, you don't really want to talk about sexual stuff. Seriously, take it slow, man. Don't rush too fast. My friend actually gave me a very good advice. A lion, it doesn't instantly go after its prey. It is watching it slowly till till it's without energy, till it's tired, till it's sleeping, so that it can instantly grab and choke. Okay, we're not gonna choke women here. I'm just saying, give an example. So instantly grab a prey and then feast on the prey, the meal, right? That's what we're gonna do. Take it slow. Don't rush too fast and try to grab it instantly. You will scare off the prey. Do it slowly. 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 Yep. Done. You got it. Congratulations. And so that was pretty much a tactics to get rid of approach anxiety, talk to more women, and simply get more experience. My friend, you might say this is so degenerate, but honestly, you just gotta talk to more girls. You just gotta learn their nature, learn the psychology behind women, why they operate the way they do, why they say the things they say, why they. You should learn all that stuff, man. It will never be bad for you. It will always be something very good for you, something very, very good for you. And I'm always here to root for you. I want the best for you, my man. If you're watching this till this far, I want the best for you. You decide to support me, and I want to support you. It's a win-win for both of us. Yeah. Now, the next thing that I want to talk about is these social seasons. I was going on night clubs. So far, I went only to like 2 or 3 times on a nightclub. And what can I say is, it is fucking hard to go to a nightclub and win and get what you want. Luckily, so what I had learned is that you shouldn't really go alone. At least go with your boys. At least, bare minimum. The first time I went there, I was completely alone. But since I was in the mood, since I was dancing, I was like dapping everyone, I made lots of friends. So it may have worked for me. But if you're a complete beginner, you're probably the kind of person that would buy a drink, go in the bar, buy a drink, and then stand in a corner and be like this. And maybe like something like this. You don't want to be that guy. Instead, what you want to do is go with the boys. Preferably, before you go to club, get some drinks. Don't drink too much, but just a little, enough, so that it is a little bit dizzy. You're still sober, but it is slightly like you're feeling like dizzy, and you feel like, okay, if I drink more, I will probably pass out. Till that point. Afterwards, when you go to club, you will be completely different person. You'll be opened. It's like you're a lion in a cage, and that cage is finally opened for about 5 hours. And you'll have so much more fun. You would easily approach more women. You would easily talk to more guys. You'd be more fun. And essentially that's what women want. Fun. And yeah, one of the things that I had learned as well in the club is, no matter what, do not, under no circumstance, buy drink to guys or girls, unless you're a millionaire or something. Even then, even if you are a millionaire, don't really buy it to anyone for just them existing, because they will finesse you. They will try to earn, to get something from you for free. It is not worth it. You better not buy it to anyone else, but buy it to you and your boys. That's what I would only suggest. You may buy a drink to a girl, but only if you had kissed her at least, like bare minimum. After that, you can buy her maximum of one drink. That's the rule, my friend. That's the rule. And if a girl asks you for a drink, you can politely decline or you can joke about it. Don't say yes. All right. That's pretty much it about the nightclubs. And now to the most important topic. Do you know, I was always wondering, what is the trait that women hate mostly in men? Turns out it is neediness. Because neediness implies that you don't have options and that you're craving, desperately craving for a validation. And that's super pathetic. Don't get me wrong, that is super pathetic. And I was thinking, like, okay, what if, let's say, a guy physically had abundance in women? Can he still be needy? The answer was yes. So, for example, I can give you an example, a really good one. There can be a guy, actually two entrepreneurs. Imagine two entrepreneurs. One of them has $10 million in his bank. The other one has only 100,000. Now, you can say that the first one is more rich. But the problem with the first one is that he's too afraid of his money. Every single day, every single minute or second, he's worried that something's gonna happen to his money. He's super worried. The second guy, he's chill. He has less money, but he is chill. And so, it's pretty much can be transferred to the dating scene. A guy can have 100 women, but he can still be needy. Whereas someone else can have only one or two, and he can be not needy. And so I thought, because before, I heard an advice that if you want to not be needy, you need more women. That sounded logical, but then when I realized this with this scenario with two entrepreneurs, it actually made more sense that more women, it can help to some degree, but it's not gonna fully help you. The thing that actually does help you, you will not believe this. It sounds so simple, but when I realized it, it changed everything. And that is, my friend, to have two things: standard and boundaries. So let me give you another example. In sales, when you want to show to your customer, to your lead, to your prospect, that your product is valuable, one of the ways that you do it is by disqualifying the kind of customers that you do not want to work with. So, for example, in my case, I was saying, yeah, and just for you to know, I do not work with the kind of people that have victim mindset, that do not take this seriously, that are very lazy, they find excuses, and so on. The reason why you do this is because if you're desperate for money and clients, you would take anyone. But if you have standards, if you have boundaries, it shows that your product is valuable. And when this hit me, I've realized that all my life, I had none. No standard, almost no standard. No boundaries, no nothing. And what I had done is started to enforce this. I had realized that there's so many people in my context that were disrespecting me, that were doing something that I would not tolerate. But simply because I was the kind of guy that tolerated everything, I would just blink my eye, just say, whatever. But the problem is that if you don't have rules to be like, for example, if someone wants to be with you, there should be some rules. But when there's none, you live by someone else's rules. That's how it works, unfortunately. I had spent an entire day enforcing new standards and boundaries. Because the way actually I came up with this is that non-needy guys, they walk away. But for you to walk away, someone should do something that you didn't like, and so you had walked away. And for that, you need to have standards. So it's basically A to Z, from A to B. Super simple, but super helpful. My friend, if you're watching this, seriously, consider putting standards to be around you. For women, for friends, for everyone around you. And then enforce your boundaries. Say that if you behave in such a way, I will not tolerate it and I will walk away. Say it seriously so that it will land. Most people will listen. Most people will comply. Some will not. And that's okay. We don't want those people in our lives. By us disqualifying those people, we increased our own value. And by doing so, ironically, you now have access to better people as well. And you also might be thinking, wait, but if I put boundaries, I might lose that one girl. Well, sure. But didn't you think that this girl doesn't respect you? She doesn't care about you. She keeps saying worse about you to other people. But by you tolerating it everything, she keeps doing it because she knows that you will tolerate it. Don't you understand? She knows that you will tolerate it, and that's why she keeps doing it. But if you will enforce your boundaries, if you say, I do not tolerate it, and walk away, oh my God, almost every single woman will go after you. Because they had almost never seen a man like that. Because every single guy out there, they are so desperate, so needy, craving a hold so much that they would take anything. And by doing so, they lower their value. Less women want them because of that. And the less higher value men want to be friends with them. So, if you're watching this far, seriously consider making standards. You may have already standards, I pretty much believe you do, but you just didn't enforce boundaries. That's why people crossed it many, many times, and you didn't act upon it. You done nothing about it. You should genuinely consider doing it, my friend. This might sound very bad, egotistical, narcissistical, whatever you want to call it, but that's just self-respect. You don't want every single person in your life, don't you? You want the best of the best. Alright, I hope you had gained your lesson. You had learned something very valuable from this video. It's been 35 minutes so far. And I had dropped so much game into this video. I don't hope you to subscribe or like this video. Honestly, it doesn't matter. But if you do, that would be cool. I do these videos for fun, for my own self. And I believe someone out there that was just like younger me, he would love to watch these videos, put on headphones, work, do some 9 to 5, and learn something from a person like my current self. And if that's you, I'm glad you found me. I am genuinely glad you found me. I'll try to improve even further and keep you in touch with those stuff. Soon, in about 2 weeks, my work season will start. As soon as the summer ends, I will work like a madman. I will do my best to get rich. Alright then, that's it for today's video. Remember, belief plus action equals correction.